Bio is a new representative organisation for farmers on the island of Ireland, and I think we're the only farmers organisation that's talking about agroecology, talking about food sovereignty, and we're doing that as part of the European coordination Via Campesina, which is also part of the La Via Campesina, which is an international movement of farmers. And that gives us a space at the table in Brussels to bring that message of food sovereignty and agroecology. And we look forward to taking that place at the table here in Ireland as well, and also bringing that message because I think it's missing out of the debates that we're having. And it's a key time now. I mean, we say that a lot, but I think really the system as we know it cannot hold. And some hard decisions are going to have to be made about the future of farming, about the future of our societies and how they function. And I think we want to be involved in that, and we think we've got a lot of a very important message to bring to that discussion, because I mean a lot of the alternatives that we're practicing in our fields every day are the solution, and we have the solution, and we are the solution. And so it's time for us as farmers to step out of the fields and into the society and say, look, we can help, and you're lucky we're there to be able to help you through this, because I think a lot of people are worried about the future and what it might bring. And you heard, I mean, we just did the little round there of the diversity that exists within Talamh Bio. We're not a sectorial organisation from one particular group advocating for one sector or over another. We're looking at the holistic picture of farming from lots of different angles, and that is a great strength. We all know that diversity is a strength in our swards. Diversity is strength underground. Diversity is also strength above ground, and I think we're beginning to learn that it's not just in ecological systems, but in our own societies. That's something that we need to embrace and in order to move forward. So that's, I mean, I suppose that's all I have to say about the EIP. I mean, one of the foundations of Talamh Bio is this idea that we're all still learning. We're all learning from each other, and we learn from the diversity too. And I think we all embrace that idea, and we have this farmer to farmer approach. Our EIP is farmer led, farmer run, so that the people that are organising it are also active on the ground. I think that's really important. We've discussed even in the KT groups about where knowledge is stored about agricultural production, and it used to be traditionally it was stored in farmers' heads, and ultimately we are the ones who have the best access to the information. We have the best possible judgment about what is right or wrong for our land, and we need to rebuild that knowledge for the future. So that's what we're trying to do with this EIP. We're trying to put farmers at the centre of the discussion about how we can use land better. And I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of all the little experiments that we're going to be undertaking. And I'm also looking forward to seeing how we can grow as a group, and we can develop this into something bigger, because I think it's the best way of learning is using agroecology. The best way of learning is farmers to teach other farmers. And we need to upscale that massively now to meet the challenges that we're.
Look, first, I'm delighted to have everyone here. I mean, you're from all corners almost of the country, so I really appreciate you coming to me. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about the EIP. And look, soil health is something I'm personally very passionate about, so it's great to see I suppose the department's money going to something that I personally am really enthused by, and the importance of it. I think Fergal, you said a lot of pertinent points there. I mean, we are particularly, I think we have been for a while, at a bit of a crux in agriculture. What do we do? How do we deal with the issues? I mean, this whole crisis in the Ukraine has really exposed us how vulnerable we are as a nation to imports of, whether it's nutrients for our land, nutrients for our animals, and I think it does. We do need to sort of step back, I think, and really evaluate, whatever measures we put in place now for the short term, that we keep an eye on the future about how we can maybe bring farmers along. And but I think the mainstream is going to have to move towards a regenerative model over the next 5 or 10 years, because it's just not going to work. It's just not going to be sustainable for economically, if nothing else. It's not going to be sustainable for biodiversity. It's not going to be socially sustainable, because we are just going to have to it's going to be get bigger or get out, and we just don't want that for our small country. And I think the diversity thing is really important as well. And I think what maybe farmers have lost over the years, and again, regenerative organic practices get criticised as sort of going back to the old times. You know, we learn the best from the old ways and bring them forward with the technologies, with this EIP. You're measuring, you know, the biodiversity in the soils. You're measuring those things, so it's a nice blend of new and old. You know, I think farmers have lost touch with the ground. You know, they don't tend to walk through their crops as often anymore. They don't tend to examine the soil, and you know, that's a very simple tool and skill maybe that a whole generation of farmers are maybe losing. We do need to get back. You know, even on our own farm, we have a quad bike. At least you're quite close to the ground, but you know, there's machinery's got bigger, you're more distance from the ground, and I think, you know, getting back down on the ground, I think again this EIP is going to, you know, help that with farmers. They understand what's in their soil. But like, I'll leave it at that for now, but just to thank you all again for coming. I'm really excited about the EIP, really looking forward to seeing how it works, and if you dare test some of our own soil, hopefully there'll be something good in it, but I hope so. But listen, thank you all very much, and look forward to chatting as the afternoon goes. So thank you very much.
Opened up, sorry, Tommy Hurley is there, for example.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one of those for all 16 farms is on the website. And then the head school is, so there's the scrolling news and there's all the things that people have done, but then it's actually all collated into the hedge school. So that's where our knowledge base is kept online. So there's videos there, there's documents there, anything that's part of the project or that comes from Talibio eventually will end up in the hedge school. And we're also using the term lighthouse farm as like Chagas, but that these can be models for how to do something that you may want to look into but don't have any knowledge about, or just want to trial. So there's mob grazing with Sinead as an example of one. I think Thomas is in there talking about mycelium and mushrooms. Loads of different topics have started out in there, and that will just continue to get populated with all of the information as we go through. And finally then there's the forum, which will be interaction between anybody who wants to ask questions, who wants to comment. There are some rules, of course, of engagement on the forum, but there's all about all the different projects that Talib is running, and one of those, of course, is essential to it is the EIP, and so that's the main phone I want to focus on it for now.
All the 16 farms in the project with this tool and the buckets, the films bucket, yeah, and the knife. So we tested soils for the basic macro and micro nutrients, pH, cation exchange capacity, organic matter, and soil texture, so the percentage of silt, sand, and clay, the very basic. And then, so this, the old term, or the old name for this tool is Dutch auger, because it's still being produced in Netherlands. But yeah, the name is a soil auger. So this is a soil auger. You can, the length of this head is about 30 centimeters. Although for the analysis, I take from a sample from about 5 to 10 centimeters on average. But then this amazing tool allows you to go deeper into light. So we use this tool not only to take a sample for the analysis, but also go out and survey different parts on each farm. And it was amazing how the differences even within one paddock. So this field might be showing you one thing, and then the next field might be showing you. No. Yeah, it's better than driving it in the whole way, isn't it? Oh yeah. Okay, that's plenty. Is it a sweet smell? Yeah, it smells good. Yeah, it's not bad anyway.
Not bad anyway.
No smell. A little bit of. Was this field slightly like underwater for like a little bit waterlogged for some time?
It would be out in the middle. It would get wet, but no, whenever
Yeah,
it's still up here.
what smell are you getting with for that?
It's not very sweet.
Yes,
There's a
no.
little bit of that. Well,
Yes, I know that.
it's a little bit of
musky.
like
yes,
musky
yeah,
smell.
bad, yeah, sort of a bad, yeah.
Not so bad, but
A slight subtle off it, yeah, no, you're right, I think.
so
Yeah.
that's why I asked if the field was under some like even like for a day or two the last.
Yeah.
Talib Soil Biodiversity Literacy and Enhancement Project is an EIP, European Innovation Partnership, being administered by the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. The project is funded by the EU Recovery Instrument funding under the Rural Development Programme 2014 to 2022.